Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double XI on internet television.
There's a world that needs answers. They go for wrong and think it's right. It's downright disturbing, but I'ma carry this light. You illuminate the night, bring truth to the slave. You reveal the hidden treasures, redirect them from the grave. Drive on the passenger, flow through the vision. We off in the sunset, heavy on a mission. Bon voyage to the entourage, fear and tradition. It's you and me daily. You and my provision. You the lead, I'm the sidekick. Pedal to the metal, got my shield and my sword. As we headed to the battle where they can't cruise.
Greetings, everyone. This is Lekeisha Mosley with the Lekeisha Mosley Show, and I have an amazing special guest with me this morning. She is an amazing author. Does definitely have a great story, that you're going to be eager to hear. We have the amazing Tomika Reid with us on the Lekeisha Mosley Show. Tomika, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited about today. I'm excited about life. Honestly, it's beautiful outside. You got to look at that and just feel really happy.
Absolutely. That is so true. That is
Amen.
so true. Yes.
Wow. So listen, we know about you because you've been on our platforms pretty much last week or so. Let us know again a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Tomika Reid. I am from Brooklyn, New York. I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a self-published author and a single mom. I've written 3 books thus far. I am currently working on my 4th book, which is another children's book. And basically, my books are to inspire people, to encourage them to never give up. And with my first children's book, which is titled Napoleon the Shining Star, that book is to help children cope with the loss of a loved one. And I wrote that book on behalf of my daughters because they both lost their fathers. Not only did I lose their fathers, I lost my mom, my sister, and my grandmother. So I want children to know, hey, listen, your loved one will always be in your heart. And it's not your average children's book. I've had adults buy it for themselves. So I just, want people to know, like, your loved one will always be with you, always. And so for my 2nd book, which is my memoir titled Beyond the Tears I've Cried, Here I Am Still Standing, that book is basically sharing my story, letting people know the things that I've been through that pushed me to the point to where I wanted to give up, but I never did because of my faith in God and my 2 daughters. So I just want to encourage people to let them know, like, hey, listen, you're not the only one that's going to go through things. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I can relate. So, hey, listen, I didn't give up, so you don't give up. So keep pushing. And so it talks about the losses, the death of my first daughter father, having to identify his body in my stairwell in a pool of blood. 2 weeks prior, we were robbed at gunpoint. A year later, I lost my mom. A few years after that, because I decided to give love another try, I also lost my 2nd daughter's father. Not only that, I also lost my grandmother a few years later. I also lost my sister at a young age. We were both young. She was a year younger than me at the time. And so dealing with the loss of loved ones, the struggles, the setbacks, and the obstacles, people were like, your story needs to be told. I never wanted to share my story, but after getting so many confirmations of, hey, Tomika, you need to share your story, or the Spirit is telling me to tell you to write. So getting all of these confirmations, I was like, you know what? Maybe my story can help someone else. So I decided to write the book. And it's amazing because this was never my plan. I never, ever imagined writing a book. It was never my plan. So when I do interviews and stuff, I always share that this is God's plan for my life because I never imagined it. Growing up, I did enjoy writing songs and poems, but never did anything with it. I wanted to become a beautician. I wanted to open up my own beauty salon. And so that was on my mind at the time. But now I love and enjoy inspiring people and encouraging them to never give up, to keep on pushing no matter what you go through in life. And so after that, I came out with my third book, which it was right on time because the month that I came out, which was in March 10th, I came out with my book. And that was like right on time when the pandemic happened. So that book is to inspire people to, let them know like, hey, no matter what storm you go through in life, keep on going. Do not give up. So it's a bunch of quotes and poems that I've written on my own. And I just wanted to share it with the world. And so currently I am working on my second children's book, and that book is going to be like a sing-along for the children. I couldn't forget my babies, so it's an educational book to help them learn their colors, the main colors. And so going forward, I just want to continue bringing my dreams into reality, inspiring, encouraging people, and hope to one day turn my memoir into a movie. So yes.
I love your smile. I can't get
Thank you
over
so
your
much.
smile. It's
Thank
truly a
you.
blessing. It really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you
Wow.
so much. Thank you.
There's
I
so many
remember,
people that need
okay.
that. No, you're good.
Yes. I remember years ago when I had my first daughter, I had someone, she came to my home to see the baby, and she's like, why you smile so much? And I said, I can't help it. I can't help but to smile. And after all of what I've been through, the losses, the struggles, I've been in 4 car accidents. I thank God that I am still here, being hit by a drunk driver, a semi-truck driver. Those 2 accidents kind of like, pushed me to the point to where I don't even want to stay in Georgia anymore. I'm like, I'm ready to go back home, but that's neither here or there. But all of these things that I've gone through, I'm here, I'm still standing, I'm still smiling. I just want people to know you can make it. Just have that faith, believe that God got you, and everything will be okay. Even me as being a single moms, you can do it. It is possible. You can do it. You have to just believe that you can and trust that God will provide because God got you. Yes.
I love that. You know
Thank you.
exactly what you want.
Yes.
You took your storms, and that's what your book
Yes.
is talking about. You took it and put it in a nice pretty bowl, and you
Yes.
have it for everyone to see. Wow, how do you feel about
Absolutely.
that?
I feel amazing, amazing. Driving Lyft. I used to drive Lyft, and I haven't been driving since March, since the pandemic. But I didn't know until then that my story has made an impact on others until I started driving for them. Getting people in my car. You never know what a person is going through. So once you get to talking and getting that conversation going, they start telling you secrets that they hadn't even shared with anyone. And of course, I'm sharing my story too, which allows them to open up to me to share their stories. But seeing people in my backseat crying, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not sharing my story for you to cry. And I don't want you to feel sorry for me, but kind of find out it's because they can relate, And so I was eager to get out there and try because I'm like, I'm inspiring these people. I'm getting my books out there. This is so amazing. So it was like my own ministry. And I thank God for giving me the chance to be able to do that because I didn't even want to drive because I was too afraid. I was like, I'm going out there amongst these people. I don't know who they are, getting in my car. But because of my faith in God, I knew that I was going to be all right. And I said, you know what, let me get out there. And the more I did it, the more I enjoyed doing it because I was like, I'm inspiring people. I'm encouraging people. People are rooting for me. They're like, make sure you sign my book. Because like when I see you on a big screen, I'm going to say that was my Lyft driver. And I was like so excited and getting emotional because I never felt that warmth before, people rooting for me like that. And, they were so amazing. My passengers, they were so amazing. And what made me start selling the books and getting it out there and telling them where they can get it from and stuff like that, I had a young lady, she got in the car and she saw the books in my back seat. And she said, "Is this you?" And I said, "Yes." And she started reading the book. And she said, "Oh, my God, Miss Tomika, you did that." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "How can I get my copy?" And I said, "Well, it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and I got it in 2 bookstores out here in Georgia." And she was like, "No, I want it now." I was like, "You want it now?" I had to think about it because I wasn't sure, And I was like, "I don't have no cash or anything on me." And she's like, "Here, take this. Make sure you sign a book, and I'm going to read it." And I was like, from now on, I'm going to get these books out there. And that's what I did. So my books are floating around Georgia. I said, you know what? God sees what I'm doing. Social media may not see it, and that's okay. As long as God knows that I'm out here inspiring people, I'm getting these books out there, it's all good. I'm good because I'm inspiring people. I've had people say, "You need to go to Tyler Perry Studios. He needs to hear your story. He needs to turn this book into a movie." And I will always tell them, I tried. But then I have certain people who be like, well, you know what? The right person is going to get in this car. So now I'm like, well, I'm not driving anymore. So how the right person is going to get in my car, But because of my faith in God, I know that all things work together for our good. Anything is possible. And I just got to keep on pushing. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep on pushing, keep getting my books out there, keep inspiring people. I try my best to post something daily, every day, to inspire people, to let them know to keep on pushing, to never give up. Yes.
Wow, that is inspiring. Just your story is totally amazing. So many
Thank
people
you.
that need to hear that. Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to give up then after I was hit by a drunk driver, but I continued to push. I said, "God, I don't know what you're doing. Before accidents, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you." And I just thank God that I'm able to move. I have my bad days where I'm in so much pain, but that's not going to stop me from inspiring my people. Yes.
Wow, I feel like you have a new ministry. It's not in the 4
Yes.
walls, right? So
Yes.
it's something that's different. It's unique.
Yes.
It's what's
Yes.
needed out today.
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially during this time with the pandemic going on, so many jobs has been lost and people have dealt with death tremendously. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But because I've been through it and I know what it feels like, I just want to say, hey, just believe that God got you and everything will be okay. I just want people to know that. Just keep on pushing. And your loved one will always be with you. I understand that death is a part of life and we all have to go through it. We can be here today and gone tomorrow. But I think what makes people hurt so much is the death happens so suddenly. You don't prepare for it and you don't imagine it. You expect for your loved ones to always be with you. But when it does happen, you just gotta, be strong because your loved ones will want you to be strong as well. And they're still with you. They're still with you. I believe that. I believe my mother is still with me. My sister is still with me. My grandmother is still with me. Both of my children's fathers, I believe that they're still with me and they're watching over me. And so that brings me joy. Yeah.
I love that. Truly love that. I love your
Thank you.
story. It was
Thank you.
inspired by so many others that you grew up with, like you said, your mother, your
Mm-hmm.
grandmother. How was that like growing up with all of them? Because I believe your story
Mm-hmm.
was developed as you began to look at them each day.
Yes. Well, growing up with my mom, we didn't have a good relationship, mothers and daughters. But I was so happy that before she passed away, we became like best friends. She used to call my job every day just to say, "I love you." And so that was just amazing because growing up, we didn't have that mother and daughter relationship. And so I was so happy that we were able to have it, before she passed, and we were like best friends. We would talk about anything, talk every day, multiple times a day. And so the relationship was amazing. So when she passed away, I was hurt, but then I had that comfort because I didn't have no regrets, because I was able to mend that relationship before she passed away. So that made me feel comfortable with knowing, like, hey, she got sick all of a sudden, she passed away, and I didn't want her to stay here suffering. So I couldn't be selfish, but I knew that I had to be strong for my sisters and brothers because I am the oldest. And so I had to, but I miss her. I have my days where I shed a few tears. I wish she was here because there are questions that I would like to ask her, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine with that. And my grandmother, she was amazing. I didn't grow up with my biological father, which is my grandmother's son. He's been in jail for 32 years of my life. And so he's home now. We don't have a relationship at all. That's another story. But I was so happy that I had my grandmother in my life, through the whole time. And so I'm happy that we had a relationship. I made sure she was good. She always checked on me. I remember when I fell on hard times and she didn't hear from me, she sent me a letter, just to say, Tomika, I'm just thinking about you and the girls. And I said, oh, this is just so amazing. Someone who cares, So although she didn't hear from me, she still reached out. And so that was amazing. I knew that my grandmother cared. And so I miss her. I miss her. I miss my sister, losing a sister at a young age. That's, not easy at all. But I know my sister is in a better place. No more suffering. She's, I don't have to deal with the sickness that she was dealing with, that I watched her deal with. And that wasn't easy at all. And so with my children's fathers, that was hard, especially my first daughter father, having to identify his body in my stairwell in the pool of blood. That wasn't easy. I wanted to give up then. And although I had my daughter, she was one at the time, I felt like I couldn't go on without her. But because of my mom, she instilled in me that I needed to be strong for my daughter because no one was going to take care of her the way that I did. And so I had to get myself together and say, hey, listen, you got a daughter to take care of, get it together. And so I'm happy that I did, because if it wasn't for her and God, I don't know where I would be right now. So I just want to encourage people. I'm happy that I'm here, smiling, still standing, and doing what I love to do because of our Creator has blessed me with a way to do what I need to do. And so I'm happy about that. I'm grateful and thankful.
Wow,
Yes.
that's truly amazing. It's truly inspiring just to hear your story. You're very
Thank you.
transparent with it. I
Yes.
love that
Yes.
you're able to tell us, listen, this is how I grew up.
Yes.
I grew
Mm-hmm.
up, with a few mentors, a few
Yes.
people that, I looked up to. Some were
Mm-hmm.
good, some weren't
Yes.
good.
Right.
Everybody has that story. What do you have
Absolutely.
to do and tell somebody else how to do that same thing? Because somebody else needs to know how to take their story, wrap it up in a bow, in a book, in
Yes.
a poem. Tell them how
Yes.
they should do that.
Yes, I think, you should just take all your thoughts. And because that's what I used to do. Everything that I've gone through, I will write it down. Even with my memoir, people were like, how you remember this day, the exact day, exact time? And that's because I used to journal. And I took all my journaling and I put it into the book. I took some things out because I really wanted to base my book on the things that pushed me to the point to where I wanted to give up. And so there are things in that book that just states, hey, I went through this, but I'm here still standing. You can get through it too. So if a person can journal, write their thoughts down, write their feelings down, be able to forgive, let go and let God, I think that, you can put all of that together and write your own book or turn it into poems or quotes, to inspire people. Because I noticed that with me being able to write and inspire people, it makes me feel better knowing that I've helped someone, knowing that I made a person smile today, knowing that a person is didn't give up, who said, Tomika, it's because of you I have faith in the Lord. It's because of you I didn't give up. It's because of you that I am a single mom and I'm here and I know that I can do it. I don't have to depend on someone else to be there for my child. I can do this myself. And whatever it takes, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be a great mother to my child. And so, yeah, so I encourage many people to write. It's therapeutic. It was very therapeutic for me. So, yes, I encourage people to write their stories, turn it into quote, or just write stuff down to inspire people, because you never know what a person is going through or what they have been through. So when they hear your story, it's like, okay, I'm not alone. She went through it or he went through it, and they are here still standing, and I can be here and still stand too. So yes, I encourage anyone to share their stories with someone else, because you just never know what a person is going through. Sometimes people won't tell you. They won't share what they're going through unless you start sharing. And I realized that driving for Lyft. You know, me sharing my story, it allowed them to open up to someone that they didn't even know. And just to hear, you know, I never shared that with anyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to let it out. It's like, thank you, God. Thank you. Because I served the purpose. Yes.
Wow. I love that. You know, I love that your
Thank you.
life is serving its purpose. You know, it's a
Yes.
platform that we all need to
Absolutely.
hear. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Indeed.
absolutely. Let us know how we can stay connected with the Tomika today. It's some people that knew you before writing, before being an
Yes.
author. You know, how do we stay connected with the new Tomika, you know, today? Because
Yes.
it's different, you know, than what they
Absolutely.
used to see. Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, I am on all social media platforms as Author Tomika Reid. I do have an author's page on Amazon. So if you just click in Tomika Reid on Amazon, my author page will come up. And from there, you'll be able to see a lot of what I've done, my bio, and you'll be able to find out more information about the other shows that I've done so far. And so, yeah, that's how you'll be able to keep in contact with me and be able to see all upcoming events, and to also see daily quotes and poems that I post to inspire you.
I love it. Wow, Tomika, you got to let us know one more quote, one last quote that
Yes.
for everybody to remember about Tomika. You know, what is that one thing that you want an inspired author who really inspires to be just like you? What do you want them to know as far as your journey moving forward?
No matter what you go through in life, keep on pushing, keep on going, keep the faith, and never give up, because you got this. Yes, you got this.
Amen. Listen, I'm inspired definitely on your story, on everything about who you are. I look
Thank you.
forward to hearing more of your projects and more of your wisdom, you know, your
Yes.
quotes and your poems that you have in your children's books that you have for us, you know, the creations that you are creating. So I look forward to hearing more of that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having, you know, having the opportunity to come out here. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Everyone, this is Tomika on the Lekeisha Mosley Show. We're so blessed to have her. Thank you so much.
You know, we got to get this thing together here.
I know what you're talking
We
about.
got to let them know that they got to give God the praise.
Got to do that
All they got to do is get up
and get their praise on.
right here.
Praise the Lord, come do this. Come praise the Lord and clap your hands. If you believe He made you free, just move your feet to the beat. Come praise the Lord and sing your song. Come praise the Lord, everyone. If you believe He made you free, just move your feet to the beat.
When I think about all you done for me, I've got to tell the world how you make me feel.
God was praising me and I just can't be still. Oh, Lord. Do you think?
Come
Praise
on.
the Lord and clap your hands. Come on and get your praise on. Just move your feet to the beat.
Do you dance?
Praise the Lord and sing the song. If you believe it, come on with me.
Come on.
Just move your feet to the beat.
Got this praise.
Praising me.
It's praising me. Got to
Tell the world that His love is real.
His love is
How can you
real.
stay in your seat?
Come on.
When you hear this praise, get up and move your feet. Praise the Lord, do your thing. Praise the Lord, and clap your
Come
hands.
on and move your feet with me.
Praise the Lord and sing your song. Praise the Lord.
You better clap your hands, yeah, yeah. Gotta stand up and shout it, tell the world all about it. Gotta stand up and shout it, just how good He's been to me. Gotta stand up and shout it, tell the world all about it. Gotta stand up and shout it, just how good He's been to me. Clap your hands, come on.
About your seat and get your praise on.
Do your dance, clap your hands, come on.
About your seat and get your praise on.
Come on and praise Him,
Come on and get your praise on.
come on. You gotta get up, come on and get your praise on.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double XI on internet television.
There's a world that needs answers. They go for wrong and think it's right. It's downright disturbing, but I'ma carry this light. You illuminate the night, bring truth to the slave. You reveal the hidden treasures, redirect them from the grave. Drive on the passenger, flow through the vision. We off in the sunset, heavy on a mission. Bon voyage to the entourage, fear and tradition. It's you and me daily, you are my provision. You the lead, I'm the sidekick, pedal to the metal. Got my shield and my sword, as we headed to the battle where the king cruised.
You know, we got to get this thing together here.
I know what you're talking
We
about.
got to let them know that they got to give God the praise.
Got to do that.
All they got to do is get up
And get their praise on.
right here.